An expose on the Physiotherapy Competency Exam, the colleges, and the Canadian Alliance of Physiotherapy Regulators, or the CAPR. Part 2 of several to come. Hello, I'm Bahram Jam. I just want to say in the over 25 years, I've taught over 1,000 postgraduate orthopedic clinical courses to thousands of physiotherapists across Canada. I say that just to emphasize that I'm not some wacko nut-job physio expressing my opinions here. Physiotherapists are primary healthcare professionals with a significant role in health promotion and treatment of injury and disease. Prior to graduation, physiotherapists successfully complete several years of university and clinical residencies. 15 accredited Canadian universities offer a professional master's degree in physiotherapy of the highest standards. Despite this high level of education, PTs are still arbitrarily forced to complete a practical physiotherapy competency exam prior to becoming licensed. The question is why? The following healthcare providers do not have an extra clinical exam for licensing: occupational therapists, athletic therapists, respiratory therapists, nurses, paramedics. Yet there is no evidence that the public is less safe when interacting with these allied providers. Even the Medical Council of Canada has eliminated the requirement for the clinical exam in Canada. In the previous video, I briefly discussed the results of a survey of 1,500 PTs across Canada, where I've collected over 4,000 comments regarding the PCE and the CAPR. Of the respondents, 73% were Canadian physiotherapists, 20% were PT residents, and 3% were foreign-trained PTs not yet licensed. 65% had already successfully completed the PCE in the past. 15% never had to do the PCE as they graduated before 1994, such as myself. 20% were still awaiting to complete the practical component of the PCE. What do you think about the current PCE examination fees? Written, $1,000, practical, $1,800, for a total of $2,800. That's what was asked of the 1,500 physiotherapists. And 4% believe the fees are fair and reasonable. 15% were unsure because they needed more details about the breakdown of the cost, and 81% believe the fees are unfair, unreasonable, and must be questioned. Here are some of the comments on the PCE fees. $2,800 is a lot of money for an exam that's not validated. There has to be a better way. The Canadian National written exam for nurses is about $360, and for OT is about $755. The KIN exam is roughly $500, which begs the question, why is the Canadian PT exam $2,800? It's extortion. The NCLEX exam for registered nurses in USA is $200 American. The total fees for the PT National exam in the States is $485, and they get the results in 2 weeks. How do they justify $2,800 in Canada and the results in 3 months? Compared to respiratory therapy exam, which costs $899 and were never canceled during the pandemic, the cost of the PC is a complete ripoff. CAPR and regulators should be ashamed of the unjustifiable burden on graduates. Again, these are the comments made by the over 1,500 people who responded to the survey. Why can U of Alberta run an alternate exam this year and charge $750? Since the CAPR could not run an exam in over a year, UBC ran the exam, similar format and type, yet it was only $500. And there were no issues and was put together in just a few weeks with results in a few days. Every Canadian university is accredited to produce competent physiotherapists, and we've already paid tens of thousands of dollars to get this education. The testing can simply be included at the end of the program. After being educated in Canada at an accredited school, it's a slap in the face to have to pay another $2,800 minimum just to have the privilege to pay the college fees as a registered PT. Considering how outdated the materials covered within the exams are, the fees are unfair. Charging $1,000 for an online exam that stays relatively unchanged throughout the years is ridiculous. The exam asks for answers that are not being taught in PT schools. In other words, old schools of thought and old research that has become obsolete in present curriculum. How is that possibly protecting the public? I got charged $75 extra because my Visa card declined due to a smaller limit on my card, as I'm a student. Instead of just calling me to see what's wrong, they charged me $75. How is that even fair? Do you know of any organization that does that, especially a non-for-profit one? They also charge an extra $1,000 for my degree accreditation because I studied in the UK. I'm from Newfoundland and had to fly to Ontario to write the theory exam and to Nova Scotia for the clinical. Another $2,500 to the exam fees. An exam that has never been shown to be valid or add to public safety in any way. Another physiotherapist wrote, I do not perform well under extreme pressure and being timed. So I failed the practical twice, needing to pay for it 3 times. The PCE didn't teach me anything, nor did it in any way help protect the public, other than cause me and thousands of others needless suffering. I started a petition on change.org, taking out my frustration on the CAPR. I felt other Canadian PTs didn't want to come up front speaking about this issue. I also felt that the college didn't care about foreign trained candidates who are in financial turmoil awaiting examination. I'm unsure where this money goes, as CAPR has very poor response time to emails, phone calls, or any other communication. The exams may be carried out far more cost effectively at the university level. A national body grants the right to the university to quality assure the licensing. CAPR claims to be non-profit, which is so funny to me. Some employees getting paid $120,000 a year because of the money we students provide. How much do the college and CAPR staff dealing with the PCE make per year? And what are their benefit packages, I wonder? I believe they offer themselves generous salaries as they believe they're above us, in a position to abuse their power. In 2019, I saw a job hiring post for a statistician CAPR was going to pay $120,000 per year for. The average PT salary doesn't even come close to that. Honestly speaking, sometimes I think CAPR is doing a legal crime by charging this much amount of fee, not only for exam, but also for credentialing. I feel CAPR is above the law because what they're doing behind closed doors is absolute robbery. Again, this is the opinions of the 1,500 physiotherapists who responded to the survey. There's a serious lack of transparency about where the money goes. For example, what are the salaries of those on the CAPR? I know why the exam is so expensive. Just ask one of the Alliance Council members how good their stay was at the AGM at Niagara-on-the-Lake Resort. It's so easy to spend other people's money. As non-profit organization, CAPR is sitting on a huge pile of cash that they have invested and managed. For what purpose do they have all this money? Is it not a conflict of interest? Why is there a penny extra after running the exams? We're looking at a lot of money. Here is the 2020 financial statements report from the CAPR. Look in the circle that I've circled. Despite reporting a $1,065,000 deficit in 2020, CAPR has a good financial position on December 31st, 2020, with over $2.6 million in net assets to support the organization going forward. As a current PCE examiner, I don't even think that the exam is necessary. If one graduates from a Canadian university, one has what it takes to practice physiotherapy in Canada. And another examiner writes, I've been an examiner for the practical examination, and it never made sense how much we're getting paid versus how much each candidate was paying to take the examination. Some people are making money off this exam, and it ain't the examiners. The college and the CAPR have offices in downtown Toronto where prices are unbelievable. They could easily have their offices in a small suburb where prices are 1/10 of the cost and work from home. Wait a minute, the CAPR shouldn't even have an office in the first place. So why am I receiving so many anonymous feedbacks about these issues? That's because of the survey respondents, only 10%, that's 1 in 10, feel comfortable discussing various issues with the colleges without fear. As physiotherapists across Canada, we must stand tall and proud that we are graduates of accredited universities having done several years of education and clinical residencies. We do not need a one-day arbitrary practical examination that is not supported by any research to prove to the public that we're safe and competent healthcare providers. Stay tuned for further exposés on the Physiotherapy Competency Exam, the colleges, and the Canadian Alliance Physiotherapy Regulators. With all these frustrated PTs and PT residents across Canada, we will not be silenced. We can positively change the future. I so much hope that PT residents will come together and stop paying for an invalid examination.